everybody, welcome back to the channel, and if you're new, welcome. I'm Shiloh. I am 53 and right now I DoorDash and Instacart, that kind of thing, to help us make ends meet after getting laid off. And if you want to learn more about our story, there is a link in the description with an introductory video that you can watch to find out all the good stuff. Anyway, this video is obviously a little bit different than the DoorDashing that I usually do. I thought I would do a video that covers some of the things that I have learned as a DoorDasher. I'll just get right into it. I've got some notes here that you'll see me kind of refer to so I don't forget anything. So probably one of the first things that I would say is to work your market area and don't let others tell you how to work your market area, because every market is different. Some people can get by without being platinum and they do fine. For me, in my market area, I've tried it without being platinum. I've tried being silver because we're not on the point system like some market areas are. I go straight from platinum to silver. There's no gold in between for me because all of my ratings are high. And the only thing that drops me below platinum is the acceptance rate. So that's one of the main things I have learned as I'm doing this on YouTube, like posting videos on YouTube, is that I have a lot of comments that constantly tell me not to chase platinum. It's not worth it. It doesn't do any good. And I disagree. It really depends on your market area. So if people are telling you that you come across, or you see comments in other YouTube videos, just don't base it on what other people are doing in their market area. So yeah, I would just say that. Set your parameters based on your market area. And another part of that, setting your parameters, is which offers to take. I've had so many comments that say, don't take anything less than $2 a mile. Okay, well, in my market area, if I try that, I will be sitting. I will not be making money. There are very few orders, and usually the orders that I do get maybe $2 a mile or more would be the shop orders. But if I'm just doing food delivery based on those offers, I would sit for the majority of the time if I waited for $2 a mile. So again, it depends on your market area. If you can demand that and make good money, that's great. In my market area, that's not realistic. It's not going to happen. So my parameters would be around $1 to $1.50 a mile, depending on how far out it goes, if there is a round trip. Again, it's really dependent on your market area. For mine, I can go 7 miles and still be in a good delivery zone. I don't have to turn around and come back that 7 miles. Obviously, if you live in a more rural area and if you go 7 miles out, you have to come 7 miles back, then you're going to need to set your parameters where you make money based on that. I don't have to do that. We have 3 cities that are all connected and then a few outlying cities. Once I get into those outlying cities, if they're not a good zone, that's when I will require the dollar amount to be higher in order for me to take that order. If you've watched my videos, then you'll know, like, one of those is Benton City. Benton City is very small. It's very far out. It's a minimum of probably 9 or 10 miles or more, depending on where the food's coming from. And then it's a round trip. It's not likely you're going to get anything from the Subway that they have in Benton City, and that's all they have in Benton City on DoorDash is Subway. So that I know is a round trip. So if it's paying $10, I'm not going to take it, because that would be $10 for 20 miles or more. So obviously, work your market area. Don't have your parameters set to what other people say works for their market area. And the second thing would be for on-time rate, or for anything in shopping orders, like you didn't find an item or whatever. Always dispute those if you can. I have never come across a ding that I couldn't dispute. And there's a whole list of things you can choose from traffic, long wait time at the store. There's multiple things. So always dispute for on-time rating dings if you can. I've heard that some markets don't allow that, but I've never come across the inability to dispute an on-time rating. And then same with the shop orders. If you take a photo and it clearly shows that the item is missing, it's out of stock, sometimes they'll still ding you, and you can go in and dispute that. And I've had those removed as well. So again, it would depend on your market area, I guess, because I have heard that not all market areas allow that as easily. So, but I would at least try. For disputing the shopping orders, I will say taking the photo is key. If you don't take a photo, you cannot dispute it. There's nothing to show that you're telling the truth, basically. So make sure any chance you get, you take a photo, so that later on you can at least try to dispute it if they ding you for it. Okay, number 3, and this is a big one, is never ever assume that GPS is taking you on the best route. I always zoom out and make sure that they aren't sending me in some ridiculous roundabout way, because they have many times. There's one area in particular, instead of having me turn right onto the main road where I need to get to the delivery, they instead tell me to go up further and go down residential roads all the way down, and then turn back, and then have to turn left onto the main road. And it would end up costing me anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes. So always zoom out, especially if you know the area well enough, and make sure the GPS is not about to send you on some ridiculous route that you don't want to be on. And number 4, I actually did not learn this one until well into dashing. I had no idea, and I was struggling with it. And when somebody finally said, "Did you know you can do this?" I was like, thank you. Are you kidding me? Anyway, that is the button to pause after delivery. So if you are on an order and you know you need to be done after that order, and you're stressing that what if they send you another order right away because it's really busy, but you need to be done, if you go to the current order screen, and I am going to try and get a screen recording of this, and I'll drop it in so you can see what I'm talking about, you will see a pause after delivery button, and just click on that. It'll slide the little thing over, and then you can exit out of that and get back into your GPS to continue with your delivery. And then once you're done dropping that order, a screen will come up and it will automatically pause for you, and you can either end your dash or remain paused for as long as you need to. So when I discovered that, it was like, thank you, hallelujah. And number 5, always message the customer with things like delays, replacements, etc., because you may need it later on. I have had multiple disputes where they can go back and see the conversation I had with the customer, which proves that I did my part, and I've had things removed or righted in my favor. So always make sure that you are messaging with your customer, and that you have basically a written trail that they can go back and see that you did communicate and what the customer said. And number 6, always click on the waiting for order down at the bottom of the screen. And again, I will include a screen recording of this, and then select from the list why you're waiting for your order. And again, it's because you want it for your record in case they try to ding you for being late. You will have that on record that you clicked on, that there's a long drive-through line if you have to go through the drive-through line, or the order was still being prepared, or that it hasn't even been started, like wake up call. I always hit that. As soon as I get there, I click on waiting for order, and I click the order wasn't started until I got there, because they will not start the drinks until I get there. And I've had to hit the drive-through line as well, because there are some coffee shops, there's no lobby. You have to sit through the drive-through because it's just a little booth and there's not even a walk-up. And so I've had to click on that as well. But always do that, because it at least gives you that record for disputing things later on. And number 7, I will say don't hesitate on blocking customers. And I have had to block multiple customers at this point. The first time I blocked a customer, he ordered a non-alcoholic beer. And non-alcoholic beer still requires a signature, and you have to be 18 plus, because it comes technically out of the liquor part. At least in Washington State, this is how it is. It comes out of the liquor part of a store or from a liquor store itself. And so you have to be, actually, I don't know if it's 18 plus or 21 plus for non-alcoholic. I can't remember. But the point is, he had to sign for it, and I had to check his ID. And when I brought his order to his door, I knocked, and he wouldn't answer. And he finally came to the door after I knocked really loud. And I was just about to say non-deliverable, which would have been a pain because I would have had to return that non-alcoholic beer. He finally came to the door and he yelled at me, and he was mad, and he said, just put it there. He refused to sign on my phone. He said he wouldn't do it, and that I needed to just do it for him, which is technically illegal. I cannot do that. I can get in trouble. So I told him, I can't do that for you. You need to sign it. He was yelling at me and just made me feel very unsafe. So I eventually just put an X on the signature, and I left the order, and I immediately contacted customer support and let them know what happened, and I had him blocked. And then another instance was a customer who reported several missing items. In fact, like half the order they reported missing. And I knew for a fact that it wasn't missing. Otherwise, there would have been, it was only 2 like small bags. And clearly the photo showed 2 bags. So thankfully, I was able to get him blocked. And I knew it was retaliatory because they didn't have the Red Bull he wanted, and he didn't have a replacement set, and so I couldn't replace it without him responding, and he just didn't respond. And I did all the other shopping, and he still hadn't responded, so I finally had to check out. And then when I was right around the corner from his house, he messaged back which replacement he wanted, and I had to message and said, I'm already about to drop your order off, it's too late. And he swore in the conversation, and which they were able to actually bring up when I called customer support. They verified that he did put a swear word in there because he was mad. And yeah, that's just another reason you gotta have that the record of communication with the customer. And they could see that I did try to contact him, and they could also see that I waited the right amount of time. So just never hesitate to block a customer if they're going to do something like that. I had another lady that I blocked for a similar reason. She lied and said something, some ice cream was missing, and I know it was in there. So I had her blocked as well. So yeah, I've had to block several customers for various reasons, so don't hesitate. It might save you later on. Number 8, if the app suddenly stops working, the best thing to do immediately is to swipe it out, close it out, and then try to reopen it. And if that doesn't fix it, then I would check down detector to see if the app is having issues before you try to call customer service. Because I have had that happen. I've been working when the app actually does go down, and if you try to call when the app is down, you are not getting through. Even as a platinum, I never have to wait as a platinum driver for customer service. It's almost within a minute or two at the most. So I knew that something was going on one time when I couldn't pick up an order. It wasn't letting me pick the order up. And I didn't think to check down detector at the time. I just tried to call customer support, not knowing it wasn't just me. And I was on hold, and I was on hold, and I was on hold. And I was like, I'm never on hold. So then I hung up and I checked down detector, and that's when I saw, the entire country, the app is down. So no wonder I wasn't getting through. So just don't waste your time. If closing the app out and reopening doesn't work, and you've tried that, and we've even tried rebooting your phone, then check down detector, because it's likely a big outage, and you're not going to want to bother trying to call customer support because you're not going to get through. And then another trick I have found recently is with acceptance rate. If you are in an area and you need to maintain your platinum status in order to get any decent orders, I highly recommend trying earn by time if possible, to get your acceptance rate back up. I have found that because I'm guaranteed that hourly rate, I don't really have a reason to decline an order. Even if it is a low paying order, if it's low paying, it means it's very close. Anything further from the restaurant, and you're at least going to get most likely $1 a mile. And if there's a tip involved, it can be very good. I have had some orders actually end up being $18 instead of $10 because it's 2 pickups and there was a wait at one of the restaurants, and it went a decent amount, distance from the restaurant, and then they added a tip as well. So one example is most recently I did earn by time, and it was a coffee pickup and then a food pickup, and it went to the same person. Well, the person tipped $8, and if that had been an earn by offer, they would have paid less than $4 for the 2 pickups. It would have been maybe $3 at the most. So that would have been about an $11 order, and it was going too many miles. I would not have accepted that. But because I got it on earn by time, because of the $8 tip, they had to pay me $10. That's how long it took to get the coffee, get the food, and get it to him. So I made $18 on that one order. I will say it does not always work like that. There are many on earn by time that are no tip or very low tip, like $1 or $2. But again, it's a way to get your acceptance rate up without losing your ever-loving mind taking $2 orders. Like if you're trying to accept every order that comes on earn by offer, it can be, as you may know, maddening and frustrating to accept those stupid $2 and $3 and $4 orders going, 3+ miles or whatever. So I will say it is the most sane way to get your acceptance rate up if you really need to maintain platinum like I do, without losing your ever-loving mind. Okay? And that brings us to number 10. And this one is one that annoys me to no end, because it is a health code violation across the United States and within DoorDash policy. Do not let restaurants bully you or tell you that you need to get the drink for the customer at the soda fountain. That is not your job. You are pickup and drop off only. You are not a server. You do not have a food handler's card with the restaurant per most states' laws. If it's your drink, you are able to get your own drink from the soda fountain and refills or whatever, because it's your drink. You're the one drinking it. It's not being handled by somebody else who isn't washing their hands, who isn't hygienic. It is a serious health concern. You are not to fill the soda drinks. I don't care what the restaurant tells you. You can let them know that you will be informing DoorDash that the restaurant is breaking DoorDash policy and breaking state laws. You have to have a food handler's card to prepare or deliver anybody's open container food or drink. And it is open container while you're getting the soda. Once the lid is on and they have that tape over it, now it is a protected product that you can deliver safely. So please do not let these restaurants, I've heard some of the wing stops do it. In our area, Costa Vida has tried it with me. I think there's some chicken place in the Midwest and South that I've heard Dashers say, yeah, they make us get the drinks. Don't. You don't have to do it. It's against DoorDash policy. It's against the law. And frankly, if I was a customer, I would be really ticked off to know that somebody who's delivering food in and out and hasn't washed their hands is touching my cup and getting my soda and then putting a lid on it. It's not acceptable, and don't do it. Okay, I think that's about all of the main ones that I wanted to just do a little video about. Hopefully, if you're new to DoorDashing or new to delivery driving, Uber Eats, Grubhub, any of that, I hope you found this helpful. I know it was basically the 10 top things that I learned that made a huge difference in my dashing. And I know, like the last one especially, not a lot of people are aware of the health code regulations and having a food handler's card and all of that, so I especially wanted to share that. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching. Please hit the like and subscribe. Hopefully by the time this video is out, I have hit my 2,000 subs. We'll see. And I thank you again for all your support and for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.